Hi, this is Lois from Drones, and you're listening to Rhino Radio.
Or of Rhino Radio here, and today I have the honor of talking to Lois of Drones. How are you doing today, Lois?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very excited because only recently we heard news of your upcoming album. If I'm not mistaken, it's called Our Hell Is Right Here.
Yep, absolutely. Coming out in February.
February 12th, I think. We already allowed to say that. And we already got 2 singles out of it. They sound crazy. They even have some crazy videos with lizard people, lizard strippers even. Love that. Love that. But before we jump into the future, I want to talk a little bit about the past. Okay, the previous album, Exile, that kind of introduced the band to me. Really enjoyed that. It touched on a lot of political things, something a bit different from the upcoming album. And one of the main topics that I picked up from Exiled from 2018 is that it kind of touched on the fact that you guys think that our leaders have too much power. Right? And again, that was released in 2018. Today, in the age of Johnson and Trump, just to name a few, do you still have faith in our system?
That's a question. Yes and no. I think there's, there's definitely errors with the system, but it just feels like the people that end up in those positions generally end up there because they have a certain way of thinking, and usually that thinking is self-righteous, which is probably quite a bold statement, but that's just how I feel. And and then the flip side of it is that, like, you know, people that kind of end up in those positions of power probably do have quite self-serving reasons behind doing it, and I'm sure that there are those that want to help the majority as well, but the pressure that then puts on that single person is just too much. Like, I personally feel like it's just too much for one person to handle, and it can just, like, you can see how people crack underneath it. I mean, unless they're a unnamed psychopath from America, but there's that side of it. But yeah, I just feel like it's just too much pressure for one person, and it's just a bit of a strange system that we all seem to live by.
Okay, so can I ask if you still vote?
I do vote, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crossing your fingers every time, just hoping this time it's going to be different.
Yeah, pretty much. Hoping for the best.
Okay, with our weird reality, when people reacted so weirdly to this pandemic, I'm hoping that your answer is going to be hopeful, but please feel free to slap me with the truth. Do you still believe in kindness, or as the band was quoted in the past, compassion became a crime?
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe in kindness. Of course I do. But, you know, I'm overall quite a negative person. I don't know why, just born that way. I tend to kind of, I'm definitely like a glass half empty kind of person. But obviously, you know, there's definitely kindness. There are hugely kind people around me. I have a wonderful family and friends who prove that every day to me. But on the whole, it's just difficult to see that kindness sometimes, you know, when you listen to the news every day and it's just constant depressive things happening all over the place. But yes, there is kindness in the world. Of course there is.
So I think after watching this interview, people are going to label both of us as just cynicism and just hating life. But I was wondering, there's always this either point in your life when you stop being a child and you understand that the world is not that naive. Do you remember that specific time or something in your life or somebody in your life that kind of opened you up to the atrocities of the world, the fact that it's not all sugar canes and Care Bears?
Not a specific time. It was probably quite a gradual thing, but yeah, I absolutely agree that you're born with a kind of innocence. And I was thinking about this the other day, actually, when I was a kid. There was this, I remember doing this task like at school, and they told us to like split the page in half, and then on one side of the page to draw things that are good, and the other side to like draw things that are bad. And I looked back at it, yeah, like I have it at home, and I drew like rainbows and lollipops or all the good things, and then all the bad things are like knives and drugs and like guns and stuff, which is obviously true. But that's the kind of extent of what you think is bad when you're younger, and yet obviously growing up, you see the world in a different light, and so I think at a certain level of cynicism is expected growing up, but yeah.
Do you remember your process of becoming a bit more political, or at least open to the idea of activism that is needed in the world, or anything like that?
Yeah, it's interesting, the political side of it, because I don't like to get too bogged down in the kind of like in quote marks politics side of things, because I just feel it's just not as important as the real world politics, if you get what I mean, because people are affected by politics, but I just don't see the point in getting too bogged down and this person said that and this person said that, and this just the kind of shallow version of politics that just doesn't interest me. So I try to keep up with it, because obviously you have to know who you're voting for and what you're voting for, but that kind of side of things just doesn't sit right with me.
So again, just for our fans that joined in and are not completely familiar with Exile, it's not just about hating politics. It's more about social rights and just activism, which the band is still very into. But this upcoming album, Our Hell Is Right Here, is a bit more on your personal side of change. And before we jump into that, I just want to ask you one last time, just because I want to touch on the Josephine aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Do you usually get into arguments? Is it still something that follows you between your political side, or also touching on the Josephine side? How easy is it for you to just pick on something and correct the other side, whether it's online or face to face?
Arguments? What do you mean? With
Somebody
who?
will say that between refugees that are not a problem, or you need to vote for this or that, or this football team, or anything. How easy it is for you to walk away and not put that person in their place, whether it's online, where it's usually easier, or at the end of a pub night.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's important to, if someone says something that you don't agree with, to voice your opinion, because otherwise, how does anything ever resolve? And no change can come about if you're just silent all the time in what you believe in. Having said that, I think there are people that are very one-sided, and there are people that will listen to someone else's opinion and then like know that they can change their own opinion based on the facts that they're given, which I like to think that I'm one of those kind of people. So yeah, I'm more than happy to have arguments and conversation about anything, because I think that's how progress comes about. But yeah, I think I know when to stop.
Sometimes it's very difficult, even when you know that you're winning against somebody that's not even listening.
Yeah. Well, they don't even realize that you're winning.
That's also part of the fun, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
So we've made it to our present time. We want to talk about the future. Our Hell Is Right Here, as we said, is being released on February 12th. And as we said, it's already a different album from what I got exposed to with the most recent two singles. It's talking about, let's say, more personal stuff, more personal changes, challenges. Can you explain a bit more about either the approach, the change that came to you saying, I don't want to talk about the world, I want to talk about myself? The mental challenge of sharing, I'm guessing it was difficult, maybe even difficult for your band members to be exposed to that side, if they were aware of that or not. I know that you said in the past that it was cathartic and you kind of needed that, but still, I'm guessing for a lot of people, whether they're musicians or not, just saying, you know what, I need to write, or I have to share that, is sometimes some sort of a challenge in itself. What was the process in dealing with that challenge for you?
Well, yeah, with this record, like you say, yeah, it's much more personal. There are still songs that are, not specifically about me, and they are about the world in general, which you'll hear when obviously the record comes out, or as the months progress. But yeah, there is a lot more personal issues on this record, and like you said, and I've said before, it just kind of had to be done, and it's almost like you're writing it's like you're writing in your diary and you know that everyone else is going to read it. So at some point you're going to have to talk about it. But it just, that, I went through a lot in the last few years, and they're just kind of songs that I had to write. And there was a part of me that was a bit nervous almost about writing songs about myself, because it kind of felt like they were sort of not as important as things that we've sung about before, basically. Because some people think that your problems are relative, and some people think that everyone has their own issues, and you're dealing with them, and that's equally as important as anyone else's. But yeah, so that's something that I kind of battled with before bringing the ideas to the band, but I did, and I'm glad I did, and they all loved the lyrics that I brought. So yeah, here we are.
And a new change as well with the new album. You have your first, if I'm mistaken, guest vocalist, or first just guest. So Ren of Petrol Girls joined.
Yeah.
Was it that much fun that we're going to have a few more guests, maybe even on stage once it's safe?
I can tell you that is the only guest vocal on the record, sadly. I'd happily have more. But yeah, Ren features on Our Headers Right Here, and so happy that they did, because it's completely made the track. Just completely upstaged me. Yeah, but that'd be awesome if you can join us on stage. That'd be wicked. Yeah, they're great fun. I don't know if you've seen them live, but they're amazing, and if you haven't, you should go and see them.
So now I need to cross my fingers and kind of tease you with a request for a tour, the two of you, once it's safe, obviously. But that sounds like an amazing night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be fun, definitely.
I want to talk on the about the visuals of the album. There's some sort of a padlock cross. Can you elaborate on that? Is it something about faith?
Well, I mean, the song is called Our Hell Is Right Here, which hell is obviously, predominantly a religious term. So that's kind of where the image came from, I suppose. And yeah, so of all the singles that we're going to be releasing, they will have independent artwork, and you may have noticed that the kind of layout and aesthetic is similar to the Josephine one, and we thought all of that through, and it's all kind of integrated. So the color scheme is supposed to be reflective of how the purple, orange through to red and yellow and everything. Yeah, that's kind of that.
Okay, I want to confront you with two rumors before we say goodbye. Okay. I'm guessing that the Josephine video kind of helped with that, but your fans are expecting you, and you can confront that and or deny it, that once it's safe and you guys are going back on stages, that you have some live performance lizard suits that you're going to be playing in. Is that true?
I want that to be true. Try and make it happen. Absolutely, yeah, that would be fun.
One more thing.
Anyone wants to show up in a lizard suit, they get big points.
So one more thing for us to wait for 2021 for. And the second one, your fans think that the band has this weird way of annoying each other by lip syncing Linkin Park really loudly to each other. Is that true?
What? I have no idea where that's come from.
So that's not true.
I don't think so. Oh. Wait. Oh. Wait, are you talking about... Is there a video of Tour? I do remember doing something like that in the van, yeah. I don't know. Yes, I do remember.
So it is true.
Absolute flashback.
So it is true.
It is true. Why? Have you seen it? Do you know more than me?
Cannot reveal my sources.
Okay. That's fun.
So it does happen. When you're on tour, stuck in a van, you like annoying each other with lip syncing and taking videos of that.
Yeah, anything can happen in the van. There's hours to kill, so yeah, plenty can happen in the van.
Okay, so now we're going to follow you a bit more thoroughly on your socials and enjoy more than just the music. So we said that Our Hell Is Right Here is coming out February 12th, which is almost around the corner. We already have 2 singles out there, Josephine and the title track. I was told that we can expect a few more. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we say goodbye? Anything that fans and listeners need to know?
No, just keep your eyes and ears peeled because it's coming. and it's even better and bigger than what we've released already. So I'm excited about it.
Okay, Lois of Drones, cannot wait for you to make 2021 much louder. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.